Welcome to Mixed Chat, the podcast where we dive into the fascinating world of aviation. My name is Evgeny, I'm your host for today. And it's a great pleasure of mine to have today with me Paul Walsh, Membership Management of EBAA organization. Hello Paul, thank you very much to being with us today.
Thank you, Evgeny.
Good. Paul brings wealth of experience in the aviation industry and this so famous and important organization like EBAA. So Paul, can you tell us, please, a little bit about your personal journey and how it led you to your current position in EBAA?
I was a journalist. I was a business
Really?
I
Wow.
was a journalist for a publication just focused on business aviation.
Okay.
It was called BART International.
Uh-huh.
And when I was 26, they offered me a job. I didn't know anything about aviation.
Wow.
And I was afraid that people would call me out on my lack of aviation knowledge. And what I discovered was quite to the contrary. People were really welcoming, people were really open.
Okay.
And I remember one of the big moments in my early career was attending EBACE for the first time.
When was it?
It was probably 2010.
2010, yeah. Quite a long ago.
And in the run up to that, I still couldn't really grasp what the industry was all about.
Mhm.
It wasn't until I came to EBACE,
Wow.
meeting people like Vadim Feltzer from
Okay.
Dassault, who took the time to explain how everything worked. Seeing the aircraft, checking them out, meeting the different suppliers.
Nice.
And I suppose I really caught the bug from that point. And so, as a result of that, I have this sentimental attachment to EBACE. I absolutely love the show.
Absolutely love the show. Wow, you're very interesting. Good journey. So, Paul, with your background in aviation, in journalism, how you perceive the challenges and opportunities for business aviation, especially in Europe?
Well, the opportunity in Europe is the same as the opportunity everywhere, which
Okay.
is that business people need to get to destinations quickly. If you're
Okay.
using business aviation, you have an edge over your competition. You can do multiple meetings in a day, so it's very efficient and it's becoming more efficient. That need is not going to go away, and that's why at EBAA we're extremely confident in the future of the sector. The other big opportunity is that business aviation features some of the most advanced aircraft, the most advanced technology in aviation overall. It's a bit like Formula One. Innovations are tried out here, and then they eventually are applied across the whole aviation ecosystem. Winglets is a good example. So we talk a lot about sustainability, but that's because there's a lot of innovation linked to sustainability happening in the sector, and this is going to help decarbonize not just business aviation, but the whole aviation sector. It's our job at EBAA to get policymakers to understand that, but that's really the big opportunity for us.
Wow, great. And do you think the organization is doing enough to, let's say, to communicate all these fantastic initiatives you having in place?
We can always do more.
Yeah,
We are always.
I think you're doing great actually, because in the last years there was so many information and activities done by the organization, and we can say that's doing great.
We're always trying to be better. But for me, communications is about people.
Yeah.
It's not just about the LinkedIn page of the EBAA
course.
or the Twitter profile of the EBAA. It's about the people on the team. It's about the people on our board. It's about the people in our membership.
Yeah.
The best way, I think, for us to communicate is to mobilize our members, mobilize
Yeah.
people like you
Yeah.
to get involved in that as well.
Yeah.
At the EBAA, we have an ambassador program where we align people on some of the key messages for the sector. We bring together some of the key stories about innovation,
Yeah.
as I was just referring to, and we get the ambassadors to talk about them as well. So they talk about these stories to their local politicians, and that's really helps. I congratulate you for organising this podcast
Great,
here
thank
today.
you.
My message will be: people who are watching this, get involved.
Get
Be
involved,
an ambassador
yeah.
for the sector.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. You know, and regarding your current position, like as a senior membership management at EBAA, what strategies do you employ to cultivate the strengthened relationship with members? And how do you ensure that they receive the right value from the membership?
Okay, well, I think best way to do it is face-to-face events.
Face-to-face.
Right? You have to meet people face-to-face events. We have 700 members, but we're
How many?
700.
700 members.
We're
Wow.
committed to getting in front of everyone.
Okay.
So we do, for instance, national forums. We organize small meetings at airports, at different locations in Europe. We go out there And it's communication. The most important part of communication, you notice in sales as well, the most important part of communication is listening. So when we go out there, we want to try and understand what the real problems of our members are, so that we can relay them to policymakers, so we can see how we can address them. So that's really a big part of our communication. We also run webinars every 2 weeks, and again, that's an opportunity for members to share their input. We make them very interactive. We have polls during the webinar. We allow people in the audience to speak during the webinar. That's what an association is all about. It's a platform so that members can share their concerns.
Okay, good. And how do you communicate to your members?
What
is the best way for you? What is the most efficient way to communicate to members, to reach their attention and to make them understand?
Face to face.
Face to face.
Getting in front of them, meeting them. Yeah.
Do you do a lot of like online meetings, or you're traveling sometimes? So how you?
Yeah, we're the team is traveling all the time.
Yeah.
We also have a very good network of national associations. They're very active too.
Okay.
So you can get that national support. So that's a great communication channel as well.
Where, for example? I know UK,
we
right?
have
Spain.
One in the UK. We have one in Spain. There's even one in Italy. The larger European countries are covered by national associations.
Oh, interesting. Good.
And then, like I said, mobilizing the members, getting members to be ambassadors. That's a great communications effort as well.
Wonderful, great, thank you very much. And now, like a little bit personal question about yourself. You know, everybody knows you, that you are so active person in social media. You're so active, and I'm following you all the time. I read all of your posts. Some of them are really large, but I read them, you know? And you apply a lot of personal touch, I can tell, which I like the most of you, you know? And sometimes even humor. You apply a lot of humor in your posts, in your communication, how you communicate in your social media with people, with your followers, which is great, because you put all this little bit personal touch in everything, you know? So what tips can you share with the people, with our listeners, who are really struggling, you know, with this followers, with this, I don't have enough, I can reach more, I'm doing so much, but I can, something is wrong with me. What tips can you share with us?
First of all, it's really nice that you share all of these kind words, because you know, when I do posts, even if people are liking it, I still don't know how it's going down, how people are going to respond. You know, still, you know, I'm always a bit, you know, insecure about that. But it's very nice that you're giving me this feedback on it. I started doing this to address the issue that we were just talking about, communicating more with members.
Communicating more to the members,
and if people see a person there, you know, it's much stronger than, let's say, an email newsletter. Yeah, right?
Exactly.
So, and then, well, I mean, I try to be myself. My approach is very low tech. That's because I'm not really that into technology, and I want to create as little friction as possible. So I just put the phone in front of my face and I start speaking about what the EBA is doing.
Yeah.
So I would say, don't be afraid of it. There's nothing to lose, a lot to gain. Yeah. Go for it.
I think the most important part is you just mentioned being yourself, because every one of us, we have our talents. We have our own charisma, you know, and when you share it with the people, they like you about it. Of course, it's not possible everyone will like you, of course. Probably someone will hate you, or they just go unfollow, you know, but when you put this personal touch in everything, it's really, really great. Actually, when I see your post, I remember your post when you've been recording yourself in when you went jogging every day or running, you know, in the camp with. So the first for me was just you attract my attention because I was seeing like a nature and trees, you know, and it was like, am I really at LinkedIn page? But it was interesting because sometimes you get so bored about, oh my gosh, the same post. My company is the best of the best. We provide those and that products, you know. But when you put this little bit of fun in your post, it's really, really interesting. So great.
I live in a beautiful part of Belgium and surrounded by nature. So yeah, I'm very happy that I can showcase that.
Where originally you're from? You're not
from Ireland.
From Ireland. Okay, this is one that's the accent.
but
I can manage it.
Yeah.
So thank you very much, Paul, for being today with us. It's been a great pleasure. To our listeners, please don't forget to follow, to comment, and just to reshare our post. Stay tuned. There's more wonderful and exciting episodes to come. Thank you for being with us. Until the next one.